I think that Sean Strickland may have beaten Dricus Du Plessis. Hold on. Don't click off the video yet. You have to let me explain myself. I think that Sean Strickland may have beaten Dricus Du Plessis, but issues with strike tracking, outside influence, and scoring criteria have screwed him over. In my opinion, the UFC's official strike numbers don't tell the whole story of the fight. Now, you can't tell exactly how significant a strike was simply by looking at numbers. That's where you'd think that the distinction between total strikes and significant strikes would help. It doesn't. Every strike that Strickland threw is counted as both a total and significant strike. DDP threw 2 strikes while Sean was standing up from the late third round takedown. One of those shots had some heat on it, but because it was thrown while they weren't fully stood up, it isn't considered significant. If we take a look at Jones-Miocic, John Jones landed 96 significant strikes. He landed an extra 8 strikes that counted as total strikes. He landed 40 total ground strikes. So when does a strike become significant? How much heat do you have to put on it? Does it only count when you're postured up? The limitations of being postured up also add to how hard you can throw a punch. Whether you're postured up or not impacts how hard you can throw a punch, but even if you are postured up, you can still throw a wimpy punch. Would that be counted as significant? This is going to be important in a second, I promise. Is there such a thing as a total strike landed on the feet? Because the style that Sean employs does not lend itself to dishing out truly significant shots on a consistent basis. But also, because he's so defensively responsible, he takes a lot of otherwise significant strikes with real intent to injure and renders them meaningless. I have been very diligently counting strikes and marking down whether or not they hit the guard, or outstretched hands, or shoulders. And if we've already established that punches that aren't clean aren't entirely significant, or at the very least less significant, we can take that and apply it to other defensive techniques. Hitting the guard, parrying shots, checking kicks, these all aren't effective striking. According to the unified rules, only offensive moves can put you in a position to win rounds. But they can still limit your opponent's offense to a point where your less powerful strikes can mean more. Are you still with me? Nod your head. Okay, good. I've went through the fight a full 5 times. I've watched the first 3 rounds 12 times, because that's where I think it really counts. That's how you can tell I'm not rage baiting either. If I was truly rage baiting, I'd give Sean every round. No, for sure Dricus won the 4th round with visible damage, even though Sean kind of ratcheted up the activity, but it's null and void, it does not matter. 5th round I would also give to Dricus because Sean didn't have any real moments. Here are the numbers that I've come up with. They are by no means final, and I implore you to rewatch the fight and try to understand where I'm coming from. 1st round, counting clean strikes that land where they're intended to land, DDP had 5 punches and 7 kicks, and Sean Strickland had 8 punches, 4 kicks, and 5 checks. Technically even on strike numbers, so that's why I kind of added in the checked leg kick factor. Because total, Sean checked 19 leg kicks. I'm not saying that this is offense for Sean, but it takes away from the total offense of DDP. The UFC stats don't account for checked leg kicks. There's no site that tracks it. In fact, they're still counted as significant strikes and landed leg strikes. Now, every checked leg kick is slightly different. There's a wide range of angles, and each angle hurts a little bit differently. But I would say that each of the 19 leg kicks that I'm counting were at least a leg raise, and at most, Sean fully turning his shin. Clean numbers are even, but DDP's shots had more power and looked more powerful. Keyword being looked. If you miss a winging overhand, it looks better than missing a jab, or even in some cases, landing a jab. Rip Calvin. The numbers are really close, so let's look at who had big moments in this round. Dricus's big kicks. Were they impressive? Yes. Did they do a whole lot of damage? No. Should they swing around? Probably not. Did the crowd go apeshit? Yes. Do I think that the crowd possibly influenced the judges? Yes. At the end of the first, Dricus blitzes in with a 3-punch combo. None of them land, they all hit the arms. But Daniel Cormier says that it could sway the round for DDP. I just don't think that landing 3 punches on the guard while moving forward is effective striking. But these 3 punches are all counted as significant strikes. Second round, DDP 11 punches, 14 kicks. More activity there, and same with Sean. 15 punches, 5 kicks, 5 leg kick checks. Dricus is winning on numbers, so what were the moments? combos, extended sequences that could maybe swing things around here. Big overhand right from Sean and a right hook from Dricus, part of the same exchange here. Oh, wait a minute. None of these punches landed. Head clash, missed left, right hook missed. Commentary team goes nuts for this though. They think all the punches landed. Dricus misses a 2-punch wild combo that hits the hands. Sean lands a jab back. Big overhand left from Dricus, but Sean is pulling away, so it kind of hits the arms and the neck of Strickland. But the crowd goes, ooh, and ah. Third round, DDP, 9 punches, 6 kicks. Sean Strickland had 21 punches, 1 kick, and 9 checks. As the rounds went on, Sean was becoming more active. A lot of people aren't really talking about that. They're saying he wasn't. That doesn't make any sense. But for actually good, clean combos and more actually effective strikes, he started to get a little bit more done as the fight went on. Right, the 4th round, before he got his nose broken, he was up on significant strikes. And then that kind of set him back, and then he went back down in the 5th round where Dricus kind of overtook him. But there's a clear number between the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round where he is building into the fight, and then the broken nose kind of happens and things fall apart. I'm not saying that that's an excuse, I'm just saying that's what happened. Looking for big moments in the 3rd round. Again, Strickland already kind of up on numbers. 3-punch combo for DDP. Wait a minute. The first 2 hit the hands, and the 3rd one skimmed the side of the head. People went crazy for this. Oh, massive overhand. Kind of just clipped the ear. Big overhand left from Dricus gets the crowd's attention, but the camera angle is shit. And if we really slow it down here, we take it frame by frame, I think it hit Strickland's chest. Spinning back fist from Dricus was clean. Very good strike. Puts him ahead in this round. And then we get, in my opinion, the best combo of the fight for Sean. Jab, left hook, right hook. Again, Dricus had his guard up, but he's hitting him relatively hard. Some of the hardest punches he threw the whole fight. So I think that this sequence matters. We get another head kick on the arms. Dricus misses 2 punches. Sneaky overhand from Sean. Dricus misses a looping uppercut. DDP blocked the left hook, but got hit with a clubbing overhand again. Second overhand from Sean hits the shoulder. Sean overhand in the last 5 seconds also hits the shoulder. There was a spinning elbow attempt in the 3rd round, but Dricus hit Sean with tricep meat. There isn't a clear angle, but it sounds fleshy. Right, bone on bone, spinning elbows have a certain crack. This one, it's kind of hard to tell. If the elbow did hit, it would be kind of side of the head. Ideally, if you're throwing an elbow, you want to maximize the force by putting it on one kind of single point. If you're double clutching, if you're hitting him with the tricep meat and then the elbow, if you're hitting him with both, then you're not really maximizing power. Strickland also kind of walked this one off, so still a strike, but maybe not as damaging as it may have been perceived. Both men throughout the whole fight landed, give or take, a total of 95 clean shots. Each and every other one was either a checked leg kick, or a strike hitting the guard, or getting parried. A couple more questions that I would like to pose. Is kicking and punching your opponent's guard still effective striking, especially when you're aiming for their body or head? Is there a difference between shots blocked with the hand away from the face versus glued to your face? A little bit of audience participation here. Put your guard up right now, real tight. Hands to your head. If I punch your hands, I'm still knocking your head backwards. The force is still going right to your head. Now, put your hands a couple inches away from your head. If I punch that, and it still gets to your head, it's offering some cushion, right? So by the time it gets there, ideally, it's taken a little bit of mustard off. There is 277 total strikes between both men on the official numbers. So yes, I am saying that 2/3 of the strikes landed in this fight didn't affect the outcome and shouldn't affect the outcome. And this isn't Sean meat riding, right? Because both men were very defensively sound and negated a lot. DDP actually parried quite a few shots, lots of shots on the guard. He did a very good job at redirecting some of the teeps that Sean was throwing. So if we're judging the fight as a whole, like we really should be doing, it's very clear for Dricus. In my opinion, Sean doesn't even really deserve to win. He was pouty and frustrated, and even he didn't think he won. Eric Nixick was also ticked off at him, but I think he might have went a little bit overboard. He's not going to corner Sean anymore. Okay, Eric, go coach Edmund Shabazian and Cody Stamen. Have fun on the prelims. But the 10-point must system, as well as round-based scoring, are so horrible, so flawed, that there is an argument for Sean to win. The way that we track strike numbers and stats in general needs an overhaul. not like the PFL. I don't need to know how fast the punches are going. And obviously, any sort of light, medium, and hard strike system, like what the Weasel does, is too subjective to be consistent. The Gracies, for all of their faults, knew that the whole judging thing wouldn't end well. They just wanted one long fight where there was a definitive winner. Me too, man. Honestly, I think that might be more worthy of $80. One fight card, the fight ends when there's a winner. DDP versus Chimaev, 2-hour-long fight. Maybe not though. The human body isn't meant to fight for 15 minutes, let alone a couple of hours. But back to judging. They aren't accountable. They don't have to go to press conferences. They don't have to explain their rationale. They get a 2-view setup. They can either watch the same feed as us, so they get the same shitty camera angles that miss 1 in every 20 strikes, or they can look up at the fight. And in a fight with so many punches landing on the guard, you get a bad angle and maybe things begin to look cleaner. And you can't tell if a cut happened from a head clash or an elbow. They get one look at the fight, and personally, I think that they are swayed by the crowd. I think the use and odds they get to them. They get to me. I was watching the fight, I'm like, 4-1 Dricus. But you gotta slow things down, especially with Sean. He's doing so much, so many little things, little adjustments, tit-for-tat boxing, and it's almost impossible to accurately score it live. Okay, have I made myself clear? I hope that I was able to explain it better than I did my other video that was kind of shit. All I said was that I thought Sean winning 3-2 wasn't crazy, and how much you value the body kicks and the leg kicks was going to be important, because a large number of the body kicks were blocked by Sean's arm and his elbow, and like I said earlier, lots of the leg kicks were checked. So how much do you value that? Do you still say, oh, that's a body kick, even if it hits the arm? Arm's part of the body, technically, but DDP was trying to hit the body, and Sean's putting an elbow in the way. That's an adjustment, that's different. That's not quite as effective as if you raise the hand with the head kicks and then go to the body. That's a tactic that DDP was using, but it wasn't for every single body kick. I don't think that having DDP winning is a bad scorecard either, and rewatching the fight as much as I have gives you a different level of understanding that I believe that the judges and the average fan aren't quite privy to. I live scored it 4-1 for DDP. I picked DDP to win, but going over things with a fine-tooth comb, fight becomes really close. Strickland fights are hard to judge on a live watch because there are so many minute technical details that have an impact. I had to slow things down and watch at 0.75 times speed to really grasp some things here. If we take a look at another defensively minded fighter, Dominic Cruz relied more on head movement and footwork to make his opponent's strikes miss. That is easier to score than if a strike still lands on the guard and some of the sting is taken off. Sean Strickland is a snake oil salesman. I'm gonna bleed for you guys. I'm gonna go to war for you guys. He's not entirely wrong. He does bleed, and war, while being violent and brutal and gruesome, and whatever other adjective you want to use, is also about tactics and capturing positions and high ground Anakin. Strickland goes to 18th century war. Everybody's all lined up, very proper, and they fire muskets at each other until one side wins. It's all about the formation of your army. Feel free to let me know how silly I sound in the comments, but please be a little bit civil. Like, comment, and subscribe for more MMA content, and become a member for even more perks. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good time.